All right. Are we on camera? Yeah. All right, so good evening. Today is August 19, 2023. Welcome to BelloHeart. I'm here with my boys, Vinnie Lombardo, Reagan. They were here last Friday, if you remember. And so BelloHeart's new, as everybody knows. And the point of this whole thing is for me, if anybody's followed me before, they know it's about spiritual transformation. So, but one of the things is about passing the message on to others. So, like, for me, these are two of my close friends from, they're a little younger than me. I'm 47, and we're going to talk about them a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass on some of my knowledge if I can. So we'll see how it goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them a bunch of personal questions and, just get to know them a little bit, and we'll see how it goes, right? So first, we're going to go one-on-one, okay? That cool, guys? One-on-one. You guys want to introduce yourself, Vinnie, first?
My name's Vinnie. I've been here before, obviously. And Reagan, sir.
And Will, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Willie.
Willie?
Subscribe to BelloHeart.
There you go, my man. Subscribe, yeah, for sure. Subscribe, God damn it. Anyway, so my man, so what we're gonna do? The reason why we ask these personal questions is because I feel like the most important thing to get to the next, like, to become happy, you have to deal with your past. So that's just the way it is. Everybody has to come to terms with their own self. And I've been preaching this forever. I had to go through it. Dark night of the soul, they call it, when you deal with your past problems and you kind of like get depressed. Last year I went through we talked about show where I went through my whole transition with UPS and everything else, and how I felt that was the universe was sending me a message to kind of like, all right, don't get depressed, just get going. And then I started thinking about it. I realized, I was talking to my daughter today, I'm like, every time there's been change in my life, I've always excelled. Like, when I moved from Brooklyn to Jersey, my life got better. When I went from Recon to, when I went to join Recon, the military, my life got better, more confident, whatever. So it's like, you can either, when change comes, or trauma, or stuff that is upsetting, or, people die, family members die, relationships break up, friends screw you over, you can choose to hold on to it forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could just be miserable and hate your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can forgive them.
And let it go.
And that's the way and it took me until I was 47 for the record to let that happen. So
okay,
that's why we're doing what we're doing. So first question is, Vinnie Lombardo, can you describe some of your earliest memories from childhood?
How old? Like childhood?
See, I look at it like, when I started meditating, I started like reflecting. And
okay, so when I remember, my childhood, your earliest memory? Okay, my earliest memory, the memory that stays with me for a long time, is I had a family dog. It was a Rottweiler, and his name was Rocky. Okay. And when
how old were you?
I don't know. That's the thing, but it's something that's like stuck in my head.
Cool.
Was I used to have this tent as like someplace where I would go when I felt comfortable or uncomfortable.
Well, when you were young, it's a safe place.
Correct. So when I remember my father taking the dog to the vet, Rocky, my Rottweiler, to the vet, and I didn't know what was going on because I was young. I had no idea. Understood. But I remember looking through the blinds, watching him take the dog, like vividly. I remember the red car, the Buick. It was an old Buick. I remember the car and everything. He didn't tell me anything. He took the dog to the vet, and however long it came, when he came back, he didn't have the dog. So then I didn't know what was going on, but all I knew in my head was that the dog was not there.
Right.
So I go to that place, and that's my safe place. That's where I would go, and that's where I went, and that's my first memory as a child. Well, to be honest,
that's not a good memory.
It's not a good memory, but that's my first memory as a child. Like, if you want to ask me a memory that I have when I was young,
I have similar memories with dogs. My
correct.
family told me they were going to bring him to the country and let him play with the other dogs.
And then he never comes back, and then you're like, okay, like, you don't really know what is happening, but you know that he's not here.
So now, what did that do to you internally? Like, I know it's hard when you're young, but now as an older man,
if I have to look back at it, it was like a trust thing.
Right.
Like, I trusted that my dad was taking my dog somewhere.
Good. I'm glad you said
and then
that.
He didn't come back. So then do I wish that my dad told me the truth? I don't know, because I don't know if I would have wanted to know that.
So.
But when I was young, that was trusting. So like, the dog didn't come back. So I don't know what the fuck happened to the dog.
We know what happened.
At that point. Yes, now I do.
However, but I understand.
Correct.
Not trusting your parents because they
tried to hide
all of a sudden the dog's gone, and now like no one told me the truth. Where's my dog? So What?
I know you relate to that.
Well, I relate to that because we all have a. That's the thing is that
Because that was my first person. Like when you have a person it wasn't a person, but that was my first person that I trusted, like the dog. It was a dog, and you had it was a dog. It wasn't exactly. So like when I grew up with the dog, and then
dog my whole life.
all of a sudden the dog's not there, and you don't know why the dog's not there. It's like, what the fuck happened? And I was young. I was like 6.
My father told me that my dog got stolen from the park, and he sold him for money for drugs. So yeah, I get you, brother. However, it's.
But I would have never understood why.
You still don't understand. The problem is.
But I try to think like, why do I relate my childhood to that one specific moment?
It's abandonment.
And I guess so.
Because see, we're going to talk a lot about that eventually. But abandonment is an issue that my generation has tons of. And what I'm learning as I start to go through this whole spiritual thing, and I'm learning watching YouTube videos. Aaron Daughtry, I think his name is, on YouTube. He talks about a lot about abandonment. And abandonment is like, if any person you passed, it could be anything. It could be a parent, an uncle, a best friend. If they at some point this let you down as a child and you didn't understand what was actually happening, because you're a child, you have an innocent heart. You don't get what's happening. So you just feel like they left you.
Yeah,
just like you do.
Correct.
And that leads to trust issues throughout your life. And that's one of the things that you have to start to eventually. And I'm not saying maybe that might not be the only trust issue in your life. I'm sure we have more. So, Will, let's talk about you. Can you describe what's your earliest memory as a child in your childhood?
It's funny because it has to pertain to a dog too. So my mom talks about it all the time about when we got our first dog. We got our first dog, Fred. It was a Dalmatian. My uncle.
How old were you?
I was older than 2 because I used to live in South Amboy, and then my parents moved into the house, and then we got Fred, the Dalmatian, and my uncle bred the dogs, and all the dogs were at the house at one time. It was like 7 puppies.
7?
Yeah, my mom talks about it till this day. My mom wanted us to get Lucky. That was her favorite dog that they had. Lucky.
Lucky?
Yeah, because I had one spot. One spot right here.
The Dalmatian.
Yeah. And the dog's name was Lucky. She loved the dog. She wanted, we got Fred before that. So, but she just loved Lucky. But that's just like the first thing I remember.
She loved the name Lucky, or she named?
No, she loved that dog. It was a good dog.
Fred Spot said.
Fred was a great dog. It was a really good dog.
So
Lucky, that's all I mean, I remember because my mom talks about it still to this day. So that's why it's funny.
So
Vinnie brought up the dog, and my first memory in the house was dogs. So
hey, well,
but all the dogs, before we had the fence put up, they were all running wild in the woods and shit. It was funny as hell.
That's awesome. But see, that's a great. See, listen, I think animals are part of our spirit guides. You guys aren't there yet, but eventually you're gonna see the animals are put in our path to help us. Like,
yeah, but that's the first memory I have.
Dogs about unconditional love.
Now that dog, the dog that I had was, everyone's gonna say that their dog was different, their dog was this. But when my father used to walk that dog, the dog was so loyal to him that if we're walking down the street and someone's coming this way, and let's say he's on the left side and the dog's on the right, he's switching to the left side. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. That's not even training. That's just like out of the dog knowing that,
what does that
to get in between you and
so what does that mean
the other person. What does that mean to me?
So why'd you bring it up?
Because that means that the dog is, without knowing anything about you, or it's just, it's loyal, right, regardless, because it's your dog.
And my dog Loki, he's over there. You can't see him on the camera, but he's super loyal, as you can tell. He does anything I tell him. I tell him to get on the couch, on the couch.
No, yeah.
But now he's 13. We've lived our lives together, so.
But that's what I'm saying. Like people have dogs that are like, people have dogs that don't do that, so they don't understand like right, what that means.
Of course.
But that's something different. So when you see that, you remember that as a young child. You remember the dog being protective to you and your family. Like, no matter if a possum comes in the backyard, he's tearing it to pieces. It doesn't fucking matter.
What you felt that was a.
That to me feels like that's a loyalty. Exactly.
He protected you as a child.
Exactly. A story about Fred.
But then when he disappeared, that's why you had.
So when he disappeared, I was like, nobody told me why. Right. Everyone just told me that he was going here and he was going to come back, that's and why he never came back.
That's why it really bothered you, because you felt he was like a protector, and then he disappeared.
Correct.
And no one told
me why. Yeah. So one day he was here, the next day he
Because
was
you're a
gone.
kid, they don't give you the respect you deserve to tell you anything.
Even if they do, you would never understand.
Well,
But,
you
like,
think, I mean, they lied to me, so it didn't matter. What were you going to say, Will? I'm
The
sorry.
story about Fred was like the protecting and all that. Fred killed about 5 gophers. Like gophers, groundhogs, whatever they are.
Yeah,
yeah,
whatever
he's
came in
doing
the
that,
yard.
not knowing
The
what's coming in the
Dalmatian.
yard. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
Fred
different.
took care of him. Fred took care of it without. And guess what happened? With my next dog, Roxy, she was the best dog I ever had. She that dog was just like Vinny said. She would go protect you, everything, but she got fucked up by a groundhog once.
And then she never wants to do it. But that's the problem.
Yeah, but that's the difference
So,
between.
Like, what? Okay, so
Fred
with
was a protector.
Okay, so-
Fred was
so-
a protector. Roxy was just a great dog.
So
a
forever
loving dog.
after that, I may or may not have been looking for that kind of companionship
Connection,
with
right.
someone. So when I was
How old are you?
25, I'm 30. No,
Yeah,
I
when
was
this
young.
happened, was this?
I was young, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
You know, so like from that time until then, like the only dog I ever wanted was a Rottweiler.
Okay.
So I had gotten a Rottweiler recently, like when I was like maybe in like 25, 26.
You remember that, right?
No, I was
Oh,
25.
that was
Before
Yes.
UPS.
No, it was
Point of the
no,
matter is,
yeah, it was
you have
before
a-
UBS, so I was maybe like
That's your
24.
dog from your childhood.
So I bought that dog from my childhood. I got the dog. I saved up the money to buy the dog. This is before working at UPS.
Okay.
So I saved the money to buy the dog. I was living with my ex-girlfriend at the time. I bought the dog, and it was a girl. It was a girl dog, and
It's dangerous.
I did what I could to train the dog, and I trained the dog. The dog was fine.
And she loves you.
With me. She loved me. She loved my brother. She
hated
loved my
your
father. She hated my girlfriend.
Because she was jealous.
Hated her. She was jealous.
You're a male,
and you
she's
know,
a female.
and you know, I let it go. Like, and I did everything I could. Like, I was like, yo, like, we could train the dog. I spent thousands of dollars taking the dog somewhere to get trained. You know,
Right.
and she was good. She came back. She knew what
She
to
was still
do.
loyal to you.
But she was still loyal to me. We're sitting on the couch, me and her, me and my ex-girlfriend. She'll come. Gigi will come, run right up in between us, and she has to sit in between us.
And my dog's jealous too.
So one day I went to work. I knew it was a toll on my ex-girlfriend. I knew she hated doing it. I went to work. This is when I was on a garbage van.
This was like that around and stuff.
This was when I was a garbage man. So
Okay.
I left for work at 3:30 in the morning. So I
Now
couldn't
you
walk
were
her.
really young. You're like 22, right?
Correct. So she started walking her, and the story came about that the dog jumped at her and nipped at her. Like, whether or not that's true or not, you can't prove it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
It sucks though. So what do you believe?
do I believe that she did
You
that?
believe the dog
No,
did that?
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
But I believe the dog was wild.
I got a question.
So the hardest part that I had to do was make a decision at that point was to get rid of the dog.
So what'd you do with the dog?
I ended up giving it to my friend.
Okay.
And it was the hardest thing I ever
The
had to
dog's still
do.
alive?
To this day? Yeah, she's still
All
alive.
right. And do you see her?
I don't see her personally, but I see her through pictures. But like that was another thing. So like now I had to deal with it when I was a kid, and then I had to go through it
Right. So now
again
abandonment issue.
when I was fucking old enough to understand what was going on.
Right. But
So like,
what do you think?
I think I made the wrong decision.
Like,
I think
you know-
correct, because I should have kept that dog unconditionally loved me.
So you chose your girl over the dog,
Correct.
and now your girl's not there anymore.
Correct.
Your dog's gone too, so you
Correct.
regret it.
And I regret it.
Was
But
the
it has
dog
nothing to do with me. No, not towards
When
me.
you were at the house, was the dog
no,
ever
100
mean or-
no, nope. But the problem is,
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. What happened is,
If I could have did it-
if I'm wrong, the girl put down the law, laid down the line, said your
Correct.
dog attacked me, so either get rid of her or I'm gone.
Correct.
Pretty much, right?
and I chose.
Well, you did what most men would do.
I mean,
Chose the human over the.
and it's hard for me to admit that because there's pictures on my Instagram of the dog and I can't get rid of it. And so when people ask me like, "Oh, you
That's
have a
true.
Rottweiler," it's like, no, I don't.
So
So
you-
like I constantly relive it. You know
so
what I
once you
mean?
get a next dog,
So it's like when I was 6, I had to live it then,
I
right?
understand.
And then now when I'm an adult, I have to relive it again
so it's
all the
abandonment.
time.
It's abandonment. So
But
that's
I feel like I abandoned the
Yo,
dog
Vinny.
this
Yeah.
time because
Yeah.
the dog was fine. You understand what I'm saying?
right. He was
The-
cool in this situation.
she was
with you.
fine.
She didn't know that was wrong.
She didn't know nothing was wrong. So I feel like I
Let her down.
turned my back on the
You feel
dog.
guilty.
Correct.
But you shouldn't feel guilty just for the record. Not that this has anything to do with anything, but your girl put you in a possible position, whether the dog attacked her or not or did anything. She made you choose, and I think, and now she's not here. So of course that makes you look
Make you
like
feel guilty.
makes you feel guilty. But the reality is, you had to choose a human, or she would have been gone. I mean, she would have left you.
Yeah, correct. But I should have, in the long run, I should have chose the dog because the dog was going to beat her no matter what.
Right.
So
Cool.
whether or not I was alone, whether or not I was broke, whether or not I was fucking single, the dog was going to beat her no matter what.
And dogs are loyal beyond to a fault. I mean, you could lock your dog in the fridge, in the trunk, and you could, Mookie, get in the trunk, lock him in the trunk, and then he gets out and we're going to sell me. Like, what the?
That's what I'm saying.
That's retarded. Like, you lock me in the trunk, I'm going to fuck you up. I promise.
Yeah.
So my daughter prefers cats because she feels you have to earn their loyalty.
That's what I did too. Like I switched to cats.
Oh, you did.
And I do understand what she's saying because
Yeah,
like
you miss those
the
cats,
cats. I
too.
do miss those cats because those cats. I went and I got those cats. I was there with those cats when they were kittens. I was there through the
You
end.
wanted to get more, too.
And I couldn't keep the cats. But those cats, because
the girl.
correct, those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like it
This relationship fucked you up, dude.
no, it did. No, you know, like it.
Yeah,
did.
I know it did personally, but I'm saying just for the show, this relationship really had an impact on your.
No, it did because it was such a big part of my life that.
Well, it's also, I think, and now correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was also an important part of your life. So, like, the
I was in a transition mode.
20s for kids, for men especially, we're like kind of finding ourselves, you gotta like explore, get our shit out of our, get our.
It feels like you're re-growing up with someone. So like when I grew up with her. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not I did grow up with her. I met her when I was young. I was like 22 when I met her. It was in 2016. I was young.
And I'm not downplaying relationships. I love love. So everybody knows that. BelloHeart's all about spreading love. But there's something to say. Like my daughter's 15 and she hasn't had a boyfriend yet because she she knows the pitfalls of like immature boys and all they want is sex. And, I don't want to deal with the whole, you tell me I'm good looking, so you get my pants, and then, you leave. She's like, I'm done. I don't want to deal with that. So it's like, you almost have too much knowledge to even get involved in relationships,
That's how it is with the younger crowd, too. So that's how it was when we were in high school.
Absolutely not.
No, it's different now.
Hell yeah, it
Absolutely
was.
not.
I mean, I'm not saying
And
you're
when
wrong.
we were in high school, they believed in that.
A good-looking dude came up to a good-looking girl saying, "You're good-looking."
Yeah, but they believed.
2 days
Yeah,
later.
but they also believed that they were going to get married, and now that doesn't happen.
No, but I'm saying that's how it is now. Like, or that's how it was, or that's how it is. Like,
Listen, we all grew up at different times and different places, so.
But I
I
feel
can tell
like.
you my childhood, my dating life when I was young.
What's the next question?
Complete life. Next question. How would you characterize your relationship with your parents during your formative years, which means like growing up?
I mean, honestly,
Your parents are still alive
yeah, both
Okay.
my parents they're still together.
and still together, and you have a good relationship with
I have no.
your mama's boy?
Huh?
Your mama's boy?
100%.
Me too.
But that's just because
Italian.
we're Italian. So like my mom.
But also Latino men, Latino
Correct.
mothers worship their men,
But
their
my-
boys, like to the point
my
like, where
mom-
they will murder people.
My mom, I can never say anything bad about my mom or my dad. My dad has been working since he was forever, and
Italian,
it's not
Italian.
like,
Them, they can't. They just. It's just the way it is.
I mean, I was never hurting for
workers.
anything, but we were never perfect. But I was never hurting for anything.
Right, but we were hard work. My dad, he died when I was 13, but he always had a hustle. He was always doing something on the side, construction or, side, whatever. And now he was a man whore, but that's all another story. Another discussion for another day. Will, how would you characterize your relationship with your parents growing up in your childhood years?
I mean, my parents were, really good parents. They attended
Still
every.
together?
No, they divorced in 2021.
So you were already out.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I was already
He was an
29
adult
years old.
already.
it was more of a thing for them,
Yeah.
their happiness.
It should have happened when I was younger, honestly.
But they stayed together for the kids, probably. Maybe.
No, my brother was already moved out. It should have been something that should have been done a long time ago. It was,
All right.
but they supported everything we did. Like my parents went to like every sporting event that I had, whether it was baseball, wrestling, football. They were there for it. They attended everything.
So it sounds like you had a good loving family, right?
Yeah, it was good.
That's good. I mean,
There was ups and downs. Everybody has ups.
so
and
to
downs.
me, why is this important? Because it
It was important to me because they were literally there for everything I did. Like they
So you had a loving, and now you know how to like reciprocate that love to your child, right?
and that's what I did. I went to everything I could. I worked Saturday, so my daughter had her cheer competitions on a Saturday. You know, I had to work at first.
You're the UPS man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was
So
there.
there, two of them I missed, and then once I got off, I seen every single one of them. I seen 5 of them. So I was a cheer dad. You know, it was pretty cool.
Listen, you're a little girl, you can be any type of dad. You're a little girl, you can have life, right? Because that's just your angel. You want to protect her from everything.
Yeah.
That's why. And I know. She's 11, so you have some time. My daughter's 15, as you can see. It's a big difference.
Man,
between 11 and 15.
My daughter's getting on my nerves, though. She broke her phone last week, and then just dropped her phone in the bathtub. But I found out today.
Ooh,
so now I got to buy her a new phone.
she like?
No, her mother was texting me before and told me about it. So
does she have insurance?
They just used the insurance to fix the
Good
pre-broken phone.
Well,
So now it's waterlogged. She dropped in the bathtub, supposedly.
Yeah,
That's what she told me. So
yeah, but she look at you like, Daddy, my phone broke, and you're with her because that's what we do. We're fathers. We love our children.
She's getting a new phone, so
Good. I would do the same thing. Unfortunately, I would yell at her, but then I would get her a new phone. Whether it is what it is.
But the only problem is that
we're recording. Number 3, Vinnie Lombardo. Were there any significant life events or transitions in your family? Sorry, slow down. Were there any significant life events or transitions in your family during your childhood that had a lasting impact on you?
No. Court. You don't need to ask him like that.
Oh, sorry.
Ask me again? What?
Were there any transitions or changes in your life that had a lasting impact? Like growing up. I know the dog obviously is one,
Correct.
but like did you move? Did you have like something that just totally like took you out of your like brain?
Well, I mean, no. I don't know when I started to feel the way that I feel now. But when I was like just about life in general. Like when I was younger, like my parents moved from Brooklyn, and then I lived in Howell when I was young. Here.
I got it.
So when I was young, I moved from Brooklyn to Howell.
Okay. I can relate to that.
And we lived in Howell in a nice house.
Okay.
And then we moved from
Howell.
Yeah, Howell.
Country, man. What the fuck?
No, it was on Route 9, off Route 9.
Okay. Was it like a shock for you?
house.
I mean, it was a shock, but like it was young, so like it felt normal. You know what I mean?
Okay, young.
Yeah, it was a big house, 2-car garage, fucking like Del Val's house.
How old are you?
Really?
How old was I here? Maybe like 8, 9.
Okay, so you're a little young.
I was young.
All right.
So,
Still
but like the problem is like the way that I could explain it was that like my mom's side of the family was very close. We're very close to my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family, we were close at that time, but towards the end we weren't close.
Same thing in my family.
You know, and that's for undisclosed reasons. You know, personal reasons. Stuff that I really don't know about. They don't, you know, but we weren't close. And then, like, recently we became close. Like, within the past, like, you know, 5-6 years.
Your dad?
My father became close with his sister again.
That's awesome. How did that make you feel?
It makes me feel better because I'm close with my cousins. Like, my cousins are my...
You're Italian, so Italian's a bigger family.
Yeah, so, like, whatever happened before that doesn't matter because my cousins
So
are
it's
my
never
cousins.
the record.
Like, my cousins are my cousins, so, like, I don't care, like...
Of course.
So, like, whatever happened between that doesn't have anything to do with me and my cousins.
So you moved to Jersey, and did that bother you as a child?
Yeah, I guess you know what? I guess it did. No, but I guess it did because when I look back, I wish I grew up how my father grew up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like maybe then like the mistakes that I made now like would have made sense. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something.
Because why did I make the mistakes that I make now?
My next question.
If I was so perfect, because I had my mother was there, my father was there. They always took care of me. There was no reason for me to make any of the mistakes that I made.
But okay.
So
this is all good.
So if I was, it doesn't matter where I was going to make mistakes anyway.
So have you ever been to a psychiatrist?
Once.
Okay, so this is all. It's all.
I didn't like it.
So you feel. So from what I'm gathering, just on the first 3 questions, is you have a major abandonment issue, trust issue, with just growing up.
Correct.
What?
Yeah, correct.
The phone died? Oh yeah, it did.
You should have plugged it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway.
no.
All right, so we're back. Shut up. Anyway, so we're back. Welcome. We're trashed. Just for the record, we're trashed. So anything we say cannot be ruled against us, used against us in the court of law.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're drinking. We're over 21. Nothing illegal here. So anyway, I'm going to continue with the questions.
Facts.
Vinnie. Oh, wait. I didn't ask you number 3. You know what I mean? Answer that one? Okay. So number 4. So what are some social media influences or challenges you've encountered while growing up?
While growing up,
Yeah.
or like present.
Well, so for me, I didn't have social media, so I can't relate. I can't relate fully, but
Well,
know
I
it's a
grew
big
up.
part
I
of
grew up in the.
We didn't have
I
social
grew up in the
media.
era of
You do
where
not.
We had
social.
Facebook.
I grew up in the era where social media was becoming popular.
Social media.
Was becoming more popular as. You know what I'm saying?
Talk.
I grew up in the era where social media became more popular as I grew up.
Of course. Me
So it started off with Facebook. I started Facebook, and then it started
too.
Instagram,
Instagram.
and then it was just
Snapchat,
Facebook and Instagram, Twitter,
Snapchat,
and then Snapchat, and then TikTok.
then
But like
Tinder. Then Tinder. Oh, sorry.
Tinder, that's a dating.
Just kidding.
I mean, Tinder is.
You're 30. I mean, so you're on Tinder. I get it.
I'm not on Tinder.
You're single
I'm
and
not on
30.
Tinder. I'm not on Tinder.
Okay, he's not on Tinder. But if I was 30 and I was single, I would be on Tinder.
I mean, I'm not on Tinder. But, okay, anyway. I feel like social media now has created an era of women and males that don't exist. You know what I mean? So like
Fake.
they're fake. So like you're falling in love with some dude on social media that doesn't exist.
Right.
Like it's fake.
So it's the same thing as the what's it called? As a what do they call it? What's the name? What's the word for it?
What?
God, what's it when people fake their social media? It's called a fish. Catfish. Right.
Okay,
So
yeah.
the
It's
same
a
thing as
catfish. It's a catfish, but it's not a catfish at the same time because
Catfish-
they're the real person.
Catfish is like you fake.
That's my son, for the record.
Correct. Catfish is like, yo, like I post a picture of someone different
Yeah.
and
Right, but it's the
not
same
that person.
thing.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing in reality because people look up to all these different people
It's not
that
real.
are famous, but their life is not real.
Right.
They don't care about you.
It's all fake.
They just care about how many people are watching and how many people donate.
Agreed.
You know
So
what I'm
now-
saying?
So what does that lead to as BelloHeart is concerned? At least it's still media manipulation in some form. So now you're being manipulated to
When I was younger,
hate yourself.
like, when I was younger, there was no like, I would never imagine that people would want to watch somebody play a video game. My point
For
exactly.
real. Because I would have started screaming
Exactly.
when I was fucking.
So
14 years old
when
or
you grow up and
something.
you realize that like these weirdos want to watch motherfuckers play video like
we were
like
playing
donate
video
people.
games.
I'm not gonna say I don't watch because I watch,
Yeah.
but like to donate like 300, 400, 500,000 to someone who's just playing
If you're rich.
to playing a game, like
I don't listen.
I
Young,
wish people could have watched me play Gears of War 3. I fucking played that game 24/7 from
Xbox, great game.
from 20.
But that's what I'm saying.
2012
So like
till
when but that's
I
like
played it
hindsight
all the
2020.
time.
So like how can you blame
No, but
somebody?
imagine me streaming that. I was a beast in that.
Okay,
game.
but listen, but what I'm
Imagine
saying is
that now, like-
hindsight 2020
Okay.
is that like if you had known back then that
Yeah.
that was gonna be popping, then you would have done it.
But
But you
I could've
didn't
made
know that.
something from it.
But
and
would you
then-
do it? Okay, so forget the past. Right now, if you had the opportunity to go on Twitch and play video games, would you do it?
Fuck yeah.
If they gave you a contract, you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know
No,
about
but I
Twitch.
love Gears of War.
Are you
BelloHeart
saying-
is similar.
Okay, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's just us talking. But I'm saying like, would
Gears of War 3 is my
would you
favorite
give up
game.
your
I loved it.
entire lifestyle to focus
No.
strictly on gaming Gears of
No.
War?
No, unless
I
if I was 20, I would.
No,
But
but
no, because of the fact that there's already people in place that do that.
Yeah, but if someone's going to give me a contract to let me play video games,
If they gave you a contract, yeah, but I'm saying if you just
game, I would have done it.
But you're not
The
listening.
amount I played that game, I would have. I would.
Okay, but you're not listening. There's
listen, we
people
all okay. Listen,
There's
wait,
people
wait,
who-
no. Let me take this back because as far as video games are concerned, we all could. I played Nintendo at 5. I mean, not 5, 7. So I could have came up with Twitch when I was 7.
Okay,
You
but
know,
what I'm saying is
My first console was Sega
now,
Genesis, so-
now, if you're talking about present day, now it's just like people who just stream they sit on the computer like you're doing here, and they talk in front of the microphone. They stream live
play games.
They don't even play games. They just sit there and they talk,
people listen.
and
Yeah.
people listen and they talk, and they get rich.
Someone who does that.
Exactly, and they get famous off of that, off of just a lifestyle type, like
Right.
like because
No, they talk about things that are going on social media.
not even that, like they just sit there and they talk about normal shit. Like I'm just talking about life, like in
So
general.
that's what we're doing.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, these people have a following. If you told them recent events in Union Square, they had that meetup in Union Square for the influencer that said, I'm giving away free PS5s, I'm giving away free this, and it turned into a fucking nightmare.
Because you didn't have any PS5s?
No, he did.
Oh.
But there was too many people that went there. That's what I'm saying. But that kid doesn't play video games. That kid doesn't do anything but sit there and
Right.
talk in front of the
Just
stream.
like AI. There's a million ways to make money nowadays. So
I mean-
my kids used to watch other kids open up their toys on YouTube. That was like their thing. Like, I'm going to watch this kid open up their toys. I'm like, Jamie, open up your own toys.
My daughter did that.
Whatever. Regardless.
It's true though.
But that's like, so like when I first came across it, I was like, and then I started watching other families deal with their everyday life. And I'm like, turn around and look at us. We're
But
dealing
that's
with
what
the
I'm
same
saying.
thing.
You watch all these people who just vlog their normal family life.
Normal.
I get it though. Watching stuff on the screen is
No, but that's because the only reason why that means something to you is because that's what you would desire in life. You desire that big house. You desire that
Right, so
fucking
now-
family.
okay.
You desire that money.
true.
So, okay,
The only reason why you watch it. That's the only reason why.
Okay,
You're
so
not
now why is
entertained by-
BelloHeart? So BelloHeart could be the same. Because people can say the same thing about BelloHeart, right? They can say, "Oh, you're just trying to make money," which is true. But I have a full-time job, and you guys know I don't give a shit about money. So to me, it's about helping people. It's about getting the message out. So it's the same. It's like Twitch. If I was just in it for the money, then yeah, I understand. I can understand what you related it. But to me, it's not about. They just took an opportunity, just like you're a UPS driver. What's the difference? There's no difference.
It's correct, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't take that opportunity that they had. But like, this is different because you're asking me about my own personal.
Right.
Like nobody cares about my own personal.
No, I'm
life.
guessing. that
I'm
social
saying what I feel like,
social influence.
but I'm not trying to influence anyone. I don't
there
care
was
what
a
anyone.
time where I enjoyed playing Gears of War or Call of Duty 4, whatever. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I spent
Modern Warfare 3 's
hours.
The remaster.
I still play War. What was it? Cold War. I still play Cold War, so I
Yeah,
don't
my
care
son
about
plays.
that.
Listen, I'm a gamer.
No, but like back in the day when I just loved playing, like back in I was a sophomore in high school when I started playing Call of Duty 4.
But it's different if
Call of
you
Duty 4.
if you had known.
The
But if you
hours,
had
though,
known,
that
what
we
I'm saying
put
is
on
if you had known that the hours that you put on that could have translated
Yeah, but you know
into.
what? It's just a missed
Video
opportunity.
games now are bigger.
It's a missed
No, it's not
opportunity. Yeah,
missed
exactly. No, it
opportunity,
is.
but
No, it is.
I wish people could have seen the fucking
missed
memories
opportunity,
I
guys.
made
I could go
playing
back-
that.
Listen,
Like the
It's all
memories
about
I
missed
made playing that,
opportunities.
it was fucking
Well-
great. I loved it. Going through high school playing those games was great.
Bill, I'm 17 years older than you. I played Pac-Man, for fuck's sake, on Atari as a 5-year-old. Okay, so trust me. Talk about missed opportunities. I have plenty. So now we're trying to.
No, but I'm not talking about missed opportunity. I'm just talking about why.
But
people watch
it is a
me
missed
play
opportunity.
My enjoyment.
But what I'm saying is
No,
exactly.
I'm talking about the enjoyment.
But
out
that's
of
a
it.
missed
So they took the
opportunity.
enjoyment out of it,
took
did
the
they?
yes.
No, we did it. We did it for
100%.
free.
So
We-
video
we
games
just
now-
played the play because we like playing.
They took the enjoyment out of it because it turned into a clout video game. So Call of Duty and Warzone and all that stuff used to be. If you played that, you were a nerd. If you played that when you went home, you were a loser.
Not anymore.
Now if you play that game, you're cool. Like this is the cool game to play.
Listen, the nerds are taking off.
It's just fucking
Okay.
clout. It's clout, but it's clout. It's clout. People play that game for clout.
Vinnie, I watched this one dude. I watched this one dude on YouTube.
They play it for clout.
If they be streaming.
All right, so well, your question. Did you ask this question already about social media? We already talked about it, right?
Next.
Number 4. What? Let me see. So, 5. Can you recall any specific instances of adversity or hardship when you were young?
Read that again, please.
I mean, honestly,
Any hardships as a child, like that really like stick in your mind, that stick with you now? Because we all have
I mean,
hardships, but like
no,
I mean,
I don't.
not
because-
going to pick for gym class is not one.
No,
of them.
see that doesn't like no that like adversities as a child doesn't retain them
Because you had a good family, right? You
because
were
I had a good family. My mother and my father were always there. They never let me
And they're
go.
still there.
Yeah, they're still there. They never let me go without. And all the bad decisions that I've ever made were on my
doing
own.
these bad decisions.
But I'm just saying, my decisions that I made were on my own.
listen, Vinny, every motherfucker on this planet has made bad decisions.
No, I understand.
I didn't understand why bad decisions, how bad. I just figured out like 6 months ago how to like let them decisions go.
No,
I'm 46,
but-
47. So
If I had changed the way that I was when I was younger, it would have changed the way that I live now.
that's you. Well, now listen.
That's correct,
I
though.
love you, and I'm not trying to shit on your parade, but there's no way for you to know how you would act if you differently.
No, but me
past.
being the person I am now knows what I should have done in my past. Like I
You
relive
think that.
No, it's true. I
You're living with regret.
correct.
So stop. It's
I can't.
over.
It's
done.
impossible.
It's over. Who cares? It's all, you can't change it. So unless you learn how to manipulate time, let me know if you do.
I wish I did because I would change a lot of
If you
shit.
do learn how to manipulate time and go back and change shit, then I'm with you, brother. Let's do it. But until then, why get upset about stuff that's gone, Ray?
Because, like, me and him were talking, me and your son were talking, and you only get one shot at
True.
at this.
Yeah,
so
you know.
so exactly. So when you have
Not true
to
for the record, but anyway.
okay, but when you have to live that way, knowing that you could have done something different earlier to change the outcome that you're in now, it's hard to live with.
It's all regret. So
It's all regret, yeah.
Saying, I wish I would have did this instead of this, right?
Correct, yeah.
So,
But it has nothing to do with my
I told
family.
you that that every single soul on this earth, right? You believe in souls or no? Do you believe you have a soul?
In what way? Like
Like
when
you believe,
die?
like after you die, like you go to.
I don't. No, I
You
don't.
just believe you go in the dirt.
I just believe that. I believe that when you die, that's it. You go to sleep.
I don't know if there's a question on here. I'm not sure if this.
No, it's not. But like, I feel like when you die, I feel like so.
I think it's
The
different.
biggest thing in life is I feel like accepting death, like we just spoke about
Agreed.
off camera.
I agree.
I believe that if you accept that when you die or when your time on this earth is over, then that's it. Like
Okay.
I feel like
that's what you think, right?
I mean I don't think it. I feel that.
At 30, you do.
Correct.
So now I'm going to tell you. At
And that's
30,
because
I
of
felt the same way.
But so for the simple fact of the reason why I told you outside is that when you put yourself in positions where it's easier to die
When you accept,
and you accept it,
it's disturbing.
it's disturbing. Yes.
I understand. And I was a recon Marine. I used to jump out of
And you
airplanes.
put yourself in
I used
positions to
spy
die
rape.
all
I
the
used to
time.
hang off the helicopters. I used to jump out of helicopters into the ocean. So I put myself in a position to die every day.
Correct.
I told it was for a good cause, right?
Correct.
So now I know
But
that this thing for you goes deeper.
It does, yeah, a
and
lot.
I'm not saying we should talk about it right this moment.
I don't care.
But it's definitely not just.
I don't know where it
as-
comes from. That's the problem. I don't
as
know.
your- as
What
your
I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is that I don't know where it comes from. So wherever it comes from,
I know where it comes.
it's a deep thought in my own head that like that's why I don't understand him. Like when we, that's why if you want to no wait. That's why I don't understand him
didn't say it.
when he doesn't want to go. So when I don't understand,
bad feeling.
I got a
Go
bad
where?
feeling.
but what I'm saying is
What are we
he
talking
gets,
about? Go where?
Ride a motorcycle.
Ride a motorcycle. 100%. So when I go out, let's say I go out and I just get a random feeling to go ride. It's out of nowhere.
They've
So I
been
go.
giving him
No big deal.
in a while.
So I just get a random.
Bored, you
I
wanna go
get-
ride.
Correct. So when I hit him and
You
he's
haven't
like,
done that in
nah,
a long
but he's
time.
like, nah, he doesn't want to go. Like
Okay, so what's that bother you?
in my head, it thinks that like, okay, like there's a reason why he doesn't want to go. Like there's something else.
Why he said he doesn't want to go? It's probably because he has other plans with his family. I think.
Correct, but then I think
No,
that
but
as
there's
another.
other times.
Which is, you may not be wrong, Vinny. I mean, listen, I'm going to tell you from my experience. Spirit guides, spirits talk to us in all kinds of ways. Whether you guys believe in spirituality or not, that's a different story. Eventually we're going to get there as a group. But I'm telling you that they talk to you. So you might be right. That like he called you and said, no, that means, hey, maybe today's not the day.
I shouldn't do it. Yeah,
And that's not.
and it's not like I don't think that, but like when I think that, like I try to like fight that at the same time, in order to be able to
what are you
do
fighting?
it. Fighting the thought of like he's telling me he's in directly telling me.
It has nothing to do with him.
But what I'm saying is him not telling me he doesn't want to ride is telling me indirectly not to ride.
Which you
So then I
take
want to
as
fight that,
as a
and I take that as a fight, and I take it as a signal, but I take it as a challenge. But I go, I'm fuck that. I'm going to ride.
Yeah, but okay. Which listen.
You know what I mean?
I get the mental gymnastics you're playing and the mental. Which
Because I don't want to
understand.
be controlled by my own mind.
I used to be there, and you don't want. I understand. I totally relate to that 100%. And until the last 6 months, until I started meditating and everything, I didn't come out of that. I was the same person that you are right now until like last year. So it was a few months ago. So I get that.
But I don't feel like that if I'm driving my car. Like I don't want to feel like that.
Because you're not in
course, safe.
because you're not like
Exactly,
you're not
but I don't
exposed.
want to feel like that when every time I get on the bike. Like I don't want to feel like
No,
I have
but
to
there's
stay.
times where like
But what I'm saying is that every time I ride, I don't want.
don't feel safe to ride.
Listen, motorcycles are dangerous.
Correct.
You're 30 years old. You're starting to realize that you're not going to live forever.
correct, yeah.
So, of course, that's why like I don't have a motorcycle. I'm 47. I'm a psycho lunatic. You guys know that.
No, but
I don't have a motorcycle because I'm afraid that I would wrap myself around the pole because I'm nuts. So yes, I would probably be in the same position as you, and I would put myself in the back and be like, oh, I don't care, I'm going to die today. But I really do care. I'm not
wanna
going to enjoy myself.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
care.
Yeah, exactly.
If I care too much, I'm not going to enjoy myself.
Exactly.
So I get that.
So like I don't.
And you know what's crazy is because I talked to him about it. I enjoy myself every time I'm on the bike, regardless of when I ride with him or if I ride by
Because
myself.
you're not picturing yourself dying.
Correct. He's not in the same
because
mind
I
space.
have fun on my
Not in the same mind
bike.
space.
I have a
Doesn't-
smaller bike. You know, I have an R3. It's not
No, it has nothing to do with it. He's
No,
just
no,
not
no.
in the same mind as
Right.
as.
So now why? Now we can talk today
because
why that is.
I can get on my bike. I bang through all the gears. Like I do all that. I get the 6th gear and I have fun. It's
he's-
funner on residential streets. I get
It's
it.
different.
he's
We're
not-
talking about something
It's,
different.
No, because we have
No, you're
two
not.
completely different bikes. My bike is
Has nothing to do with the bike.
Nothing to do with the bike.
No, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does. My bike.
No, it doesn't.
I
Has nothing-
I'm
love
on
you.
4th gear on
No,
the
you know
I
residential
love you to
road.
death.
So,
but has to
It
do with
doesn't
the
have
bike.
anything to
Has
do with the bike.
It has to do with his mental
because
situation.
no, think about it.
It has
because
nothing to do
if
with
he
the
had
bike.
my bike, it's the same.
It wouldn't matter.
He can ride a bicycle.
You do the same thing I do.
Oh,
There's only so much you can do
No,
with my
you're,
bike.
you're not listening. You,
Yeah, but
you
you're
don't get
saying-
it.
No, I'm listening and I get it.
You're
You
not
don't.
going deep enough. You're going to the shallow. You're on one
Correct.
level. One level is just like the bike's enjoyable. Yeah, it's a bike. Fucking fantastic. But the reason why he doesn't go on the bike is because he feels he's being given a message from you. Like the reason why you don't want to ride it today is like someone's trying to tell him,
No.
"Don't go on the bike today
No,
because you might
that's
die."
correct. That's correct.
So that's what he's saying.
Correct.
It's a signal from the universe or from wherever he
just-
believes in. And then, but he fights himself and he says,
I'm gonna do
He
it.
says, "I don't fuck my mind. I don't give a fuck. I'm going anyway."
Yeah,
So now,
I don't
That's
do
correct.
that.
okay. So now, what is but you're still
But
here.
we
So obviously-
no, yeah,
so
no,
obviously
yeah,
you haven't
yeah,
fought-
yeah,
you haven't
yeah.
fought fate too much.
Correct.
No, I know, but we
I have,
talked
but
yesterday.
Well, so have I.
Jim, we talked yesterday, and I said the roads are wet.
he
He didn't care.
The roads
I was like,
fucking
oh,
wet.
it rained.
They
It
weren't
rained
wet.
today.
Has nothing to do with anything.
has nothing to do
It
with
does.
it.
Listen,
No, he doesn't
now
get
listen,
it.
Well, you're
For me,
you're an
and
11-year-old
him,
child.
He doesn't get it.
I have 2 children, so I have a lot to live for. As a single man, it's a little different. It's a different view.
It's a different.
So
It's a different thing when you get that bike to be free. Like
I
it's
know,
like a
but
different
once
thing.
I see rain, remember how scared I was riding home?
Correct.
When we
And
were riding
ask
tonight,
me,
it was
whenever
me
have
and
I
you
been?
back, we were
When
riding.
have I ever been?
was panicking the whole ride home.
Was I?
Yeah.
the only way to enjoy a bike
No,
is to
you
let
weren't.
go, right?
No, you weren't.
You just let go,
The only way you can enjoy a bike is to let go.
Is to
So
let go.
if you're gonna have a bike, you either gotta let go or just don't get a bike.
or you just don't get a bike.
One or the other.
That's what I'm
Jamie, it
saying.
started
That's my
raining.
point.
It
That's
started
my point.
raining.
So you-
I was over with him, and
I
I had
just think
to
like
ride
there's nothing wrong
home
with
in the
that.
rain. So I was like, I was.
When I jump out of planes, what do you think I gotta do? Tell myself if I die, I die. Whatever.
But he doesn't get.
You're a
He's
military
not.
man, so it's
It's
like.
totally
he's not
different.
there.
But I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that you're looking at it on like an enjoyable, like bike's fun. Let's,
I'm
go,
just-
let's go for a
yeah,
ride.
exactly.
He's looking at it on a deeper psychological level. Like it's not just about the bike; it's about the whole process. That I might get
exactly.
hurt while I'm out there, and like,
Mhm.
I don't care if I'm gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
that.
care about that.
Right. That's
Like,
different.
You care about that.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a different
like I said, you're a
story.
child.
It's a
But-
different thing.
I mean, it's from
It's a
myself
different
too,
entity. No,
like,
it's
I
a
don't wanna
different
be in a
thing.
It's just,
wheelchair or
listen,
something.
That has
and this
nothing
is
to
not-
do with that.
It's about arguing, guys.
It's just
It's
different.
just
No, we're not arguing.
We're just different people. So you have different things to live for. And he has different things to live for. Right now, he doesn't think he has enough to live for at the moment. But that's it. He's only 30 cents change. Don't worry about it. We're gonna fix it. So can you recall wait. How do you cope with difficult situations or emotions when you were a child? You used to go to your safe place. That was one
I
of them.
used to go, yeah, that's what I did was go to
Okay.
my safe place
How did you
because
do
my
it?
safe place was like the place where I was alone. Like when I deal with something difficult, I like to be alone.
Makes sense.
Like if I deal with abandonment, like you said, like I like to be alone. I don't want to talk about it. Like when people pass away in your family, like I deal with it
It's hard,
differently
yeah.
than everyone else.
I understand.
I deal with shit in the dark. I don't like to deal with it.
Well, I used to, and just so you know, I used to do the same thing. And I'm not saying I've gotten better at it. I'm not necessarily gotten better at it, but I've learned how to cry in my last few years.
Yeah, correct.
I've learned how to not judge myself, because that was the biggest thing for me, is judging myself.
Yeah, letting other people know when
Like,
you felt
If
vulnerable.
I feel emotion, I'm weak. You know what I mean? Like I was raised that way. In the 90s, you
Correct.
could not show weakness in the streets
No.
of Brooklyn.
Correct.
If you showed weakness, you were getting your ass kicked.
Correct.
So that's what I mean. Like same thing with the Roman Catholic being brought up with the same.
That's a different, but that's what I'm saying. That all leads back to the different way that you were blown up.
But that doesn't mean we can't overcome that. And I was raised.
No.
Vinny, we were raised the same way. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Correct.
So anyway,
I've been dealing with a lot. Like I've been coping with a lot of shit that nobody knows about.
Of course, because
you know what I
keep
mean.
it in.
And I
But you
play
can talk
like
about
I'm
it, though.
cool. Like I'm.
Yeah, we all
You know
do
what I
that.
mean.
Listen. My daughters tell me you never look like anything bothers you ever, but that's not true.
How I try to be. Like I don't want anyone to know they bother me.
Because she's my daughter, right? But eventually, the problem is you don't have people you trust in your life. It's all about trust. And this goes back to your childhood with your trust. And once you find a companion or a partner or someone you trust, it's going to change. I'm telling you. I'm not saying you should go online. You know, I don't know. I know the dating world is different for you guys because you guys are younger. And for me, you meet people at school or church or hanging out at the club or whatever. I get it. It's frustrating, and I don't know how to deal. I don't know how you guys deal with it, honestly. But you will. You're going to find that person that like bounces you out. Like all of a sudden, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You'll see.
No, yeah.
And as soon as you stop looking for it,
I believe in that. Like I believe it. I do believe in that. I do.
I'm telling you,
I believe that when you stop looking for it,
the universe puts you exactly where you need to be at the exact time. So you guys are all supposed to be here at this moment. So don't worry about it. All right. Well, do you want to answer this question or no?
Ask it. I'll answer it.
Will, is there any difficult situation you want to talk about from childhood? Any difficult situations you would like to talk about from the childhood? I want to make sure I'm clear because I'm a little tipsy.
No, not much from my childhood. It was
Your adulthood?
more when I got to high school.
What happened?
But that was the next question.
All right. Let's do the next question.
It might have been, I don't know.
Did you have any close relationships or role models in your childhood that helped you navigate
Oh,
challenges?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like, if
So, like, who were you closest to as growing up? Better question. Who was like the person like that you went to for everything growing up? Is it your
that's the
dad,
problem.
your daddy's guy, or your
no,
mom?
like I never was like my parents were always
I
like
had my cousin
in
Corey
the
growing
dark.
up.
Like they never knew like anything that was going on
Right.
because
So
they
you
were
were
so
so private,
strict.
right?
That
You
was
kept
so
everything-
private. I kept everything.
But see,
private.
that's the now. Okay, so you said your parents were strict, right?
Correct.
So you couldn't tell them stuff because they were.
I felt like I couldn't tell them stuff. But now, like when I look back on it, I probably should have told them stuff because
Right.
it would have alleviated some of
So
the.
tell them now. What's the difference?
No, like yeah, I get it, but like
Your parents don't give a shit. But
no, now they don't. Now they don't give a shit. But like my parents were so tight knit and grouped up and like
they're strict. Yeah,
You know, they're strict.
You're a tight family. You're Italian. I get it. Now, I grew up in a tight Italian family. That
so
we
I never
tell
like
my secrets.
yeah. So when you did something fucked up, like you never like it was kept between like
I get it.
people that you trust, like cousins, like your brothers.
Around the
you know what I
family.
mean? Yeah, just how it is. Your parents never knew about it, and if they did, they acted like they didn't.
Right. See, that's why I raised my kids to be
Transparent.
I looked at it like you have to stop the generational abuse at some point. So,
Correct.
So like our parents were raised. Our parents.
That's because-
our parents were raised a certain way, right?
We
So, like,
grew up in the way that the way that our generation is, we're supposed to be like our parents.
right.
But the way that they're growing up is not like
Well, that's what you think. But see,
he.
just like I look at you guys like I look at like.
But we look
down
to
my head.
grow up like you. Like we look to grow
think.
the house, the fucking family, the way that it is. But that doesn't exist
Listen,
anymore.
it's all going away.
We talked about this.
It doesn't exist.
It does exist. It depends. It's all about. It's all about. You can listen. Home is where the heart is. I know that sounds like cliche,
correct.
but you can. Us three right now, if we didn't have families, could probably go into the woods and just be thrilled together all day, rest of our lives, and we figure it out, right?
correct.
Because we trust each other. Because we're happy. Because you're comfortable with the people you're with. You trust them that they're gonna get you back, and it's just the same thing. It's all about trust and love. I'm telling you, it's once. And I know as a 31-year-old, you have a child, but you still don't have you're not like in that family.
It's a different way you
stage,
don't
right?
trust anyone. Like it's hard.
And I know that's why I started BelloHeart, because my kids don't trust anybody.
So you don't
So,
trust nobody?
no, I don't.
You trust Will. You trust me
I mean, I trust Will to an extent. I trust you in
to
the
an extent.
It's just like
You don't trust yourself either.
no, but what I'm saying is I like whether it's between women, whether between men, whether between anyone that you come across, you always expect them to fuck up. They're always gonna fuck up.
That's like
So I
human
trust you to
nature,
fuck
though.
up. I trust
Everybody
you.
fucks up. Nobody's perfect.
Exactly my point. So
Nobody's
that's what I'm
perfect.
saying. So I trust you to fuck up. Just
Nobody's
like
perfect.
I would fuck up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is like the point. You see, when it comes to like,
There's about unconditional doesn't
love.
exist. Doesn't exist.
Unconditional love. It does exist. Listen, and I'm
Yes, it
going to
does.
tell you as a
Bro,
30-year-old.
Jamie gave it to us. What do you mean?
Stop. Unconditional love does exist, and when you have a child, it's super apparent.
That's different.
Like it's so simple.
No, it's not.
No, but
Jamie
no.
gave it to us like
No,
we were his own
I
children.
tried to teach you. I tried to teach you guys respect, and not. And there's a 90,
Jimmy,
5% of the world.
love. Like
I tried to.
Crazy.
but 90% of the world is not like that. So, and that's the thing. You have to protect yourself. I get it.
Right.
I understand that, guys.
Jimmy, I did something to piss you off. Guess what? Next morning you love me. So
I
it
still
was,
love you. I love you every day because it's only work. I don't give a fuck about work.
No,
That's
but
what
that's
I'm
how
saying.
it all, even now. Like it's
Well,
the same thing. It's
As long as you don't hurt me, I love you.
how are we gonna hurt you? How are we gonna hurt
I
you?
don't know if you know. I guess I'm gonna slap my wife.
That's what I'm saying.
Have we
I'm not
ever
beating
did
you
that?
No, you wouldn't. I'm just saying. But that's what you asked me, so I told you.
Unconditional love is a thing.
But that's besides the point. Anyway, I agree with you. Unconditional love, but that's the point. The point is unconditional. Okay, so unconditional love. I've been meditating for 6 months now. One thing I've learned is that unconditional love and acceptance is the basis for the entire universe. Now, you say, well, that's crazy. That makes no sense because there's a lot of assholes in the world. I agree.
Most of my relationships are unconditional love. So it's
Yes,
On your end.
on your end.
yeah, on my end.
But that's why.
We all grew up different. Sorry,
Exactly. Vinny.
I'm just saying.
You had two different points in your life, right? So let's not judge or point fingers because listen, I've been there. I was suicidal in my 20s. I'll be honest with you, at 25, I ready to kill myself. So now I'm 47 and I'm happy to have been. What does that tell you? It means I don't know dick. That's what that tells you. So the key is to just let shit go. Stop holding on to the shit in your past because you can't change it anyway. It's already gone. So why should you worry about it if you can't change it?
I can't
It makes no
remember
sense.
the last grudge I'm holding on to because
Because it's stupid, and you know what? And to me, talking to you guys is your age is silly because I'm being a hypocrite because it took me till I was 46 to figure that shit out. So I'm not saying that shit is easy. It's not easy.
But like,
But
What I'm saying is that I can help. I'm trying to just help you guys see the light because my dad died when I was 13. So
yeah, but when you see a light, like it doesn't do anything because okay,
you don't believe.
I'm not saying it doesn't do anything, but what I'm saying is like it doesn't erase. Like he's different. Like so the way that I am now, it could have been so different if I had.
Listen.
But listen, what I'm saying is if I had done one thing different, in each of the times that
that's what you think.
okay, but if I had done one thing different, if I had done one thing different in each of the times that I thought was a turning point in my life, I could have been in a different situation.
Now I can sit here and go through this list of what those one things are, but I'm going to tell you from experience that it doesn't matter because
They're not there no more. So
you don't like yourself right now. Whatever the reason is, what it is. And I'm not trying to tell you.
No, you're right. You're correct.
And I'm not trying to tell you why. And I didn't like myself until last year. So
Yeah.
I was 46. I hated myself fucking the last 20 years. Why? Because I didn't understand that we could just let our past. Because listen, I understand wanting to hold on to memories. That's different. But holding on to past trauma, the past trauma was only there so that it can evolve you into a better, more mature
Yeah, but I feel
version of
like
yourself.
I caused the
my
past trauma.
What?
I caused it. I
How?
did
How
because
did you cause your dog leaving you?
but that's just the root of it. What I'm saying is that everything that happened after that was because of I didn't want to feel like I didn't want to feel like that ever again. So like I did what I did, so I didn't ever feel like that ever again. I did it
But you're
before
trying to protect
anyone else
yourself.
could do it.
I understand.
I did it before
So
anyone
I
else.
get that. You're trying to almost.
So then when I'm
I call
now-
myself fat.
Exactly.
Like, I call myself fat so nobody else.
Before
does.
anyone, so now where I'm at in my life now, I wanna rewind and go back to those people that I wish I didn't do the stuff that I did to, and
Regret.
yeah, basically.
Yes. Now, have you talked to these people?
I mean, I've tried to.
Okay, so are they still hate you for whatever? Because I've done some dumb shit in my life. I mean, I've fucked over some people.
I mean, yeah. Apparently, I mean, I'm.
It's just past trauma that you just have to. Yeah, at some point you have to forgive yourself because if you don't,
I mean,
you hate
at that
yourself.
point, yeah. I mean, because they're not going to forgive you, so you have to forgive.
Well, you
yourself.
have to forgive yourself. Because see, that's what I learned also is that when I started meditating, I started looking back at all the relationships in my past, my parents, my friends, and everything else. And listen, I have some fucking relationships I can talk about in this show for days. But I've also learned to like, all right.
But I don't want
It wasn't
to.
that okay. So think about all the people you're blaming for whatever reason that they did what
I'm
they
talking
did.
about blaming them. I'm blaming myself.
But that's the problem. Why you're blaming yourself when you were a child? When you were a child, you couldn't. There's no way you can. See, the problem is you're looking at your childhood from the brain you have now, and like as a child, when you're 7, all you want to do is just have fun. You don't give a shit. Oh, I can't do this. Okay, go over there.
But it's not just
I can't
when
do
I
this?
was
I'll go there.
7.
Okay.
It's when I was his age, and when I was doing what I was doing when I was his age.
Okay, what are
Like
you doing?
because I mean, basically, it roots all to women.
Okay, listen, I get it. You're a good-looking guy.
It relates back to women. Like if I had not done what I have done, then those women would have been in my life still.
Yeah, but that's not true. You don't know what they would like. Maybe they. But you see, that's the problem. You're assuming a lot, and
So I go back to my past a lot.
so what I would like. So I agree. I used to do the same thing. I used to do it all the time. I mean, I lived.
spin the block all the
I
time.
lived in my past for 46 years, and I didn't. And when I started learning about meditation, I didn't understand what it meant to leave the past.
But you had a wife. Like you had someone who to support you.
After 47, yeah, you're 17 years away from that point. So you have plenty of time to get to the point where you have a family and a lot. You're 30, and I get it. And I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be concerned because I love that you're deep. I love the fact you're reflecting and thinking about your past and all that stuff. That's important because
Like if I didn't do what I did, I could have had kids by now. I could have been. Yeah, you're right.
well,
You're right.
what if
You're
a
right.
meteorite hit this fucking room right now? We'd all be dead. Who gives a shit?
No, you're 100% right. I
So-
agree with what you're saying.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that but like
Well,
I
guess
don't.
what? If we never met, if I wasn't your boss and Eric was, you wouldn't even be here.
Correct.
Who
But
gives a
you
shit?
say it all the time, like this is the life that you want to live. Like my life is the life that you want to live. Like it's really
No,
not.
I
Like
know.
it's not.
I only say that to you to make you feel better.
No, but I get it.
I know,
Thank you.
but not because I was you,
Yeah.
so I get it, and I know what it's like to be in that path to try to find companionship.
It's embarrassing.
It
Like it's
sucks.
honestly embarrassing because like when you see like other people like who have that, like it like you had that. Like when you think in your mind and you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you really look at
So
yourself
you have a person you're
and you really think about like, yo, you had that. Like that was like
yeah, whatever. Anyway,
like you had that.
So-
And you gave that up because of why you thought there was always going to be something else on the other side, but
but there is. I mean,
there's not always. There's not always.
You only-
The grass is always greener.
First of all, yeah, the grass.
Yes, it is.
That's a great saying because
The grass.
old married men want to be single, and then single men after like 6 months want to be married.
I mean,
So-
correct, but it depends on who you're with. It depends.
Of course.
It all depends.
But that's the point. The girl, whoever we're talking about specifically, she was not ready for you. She was not you. She was not the person you need to be with at that point because she didn't fulfill your life. Like she was boring or whatever. She was a stalemate. The only way you're gonna get out and like change your world is if you go out and do shit. Like go out and meet people, go out and talk to people, change the world. If you're not happy, I'm saying, if you're not happy now, the only way you're gonna do things is to change them. So. Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you guys know about him, but he is a doctor a neurologist who fixes spinal cord through meditation. And actually, he got into a car accident, couldn't walk. I think I told about this last time. I gotta pause this.
I got piano. Where'd you pee?
All right, so it's 2:30 in the morning and it's been an hour. So I don't want to take up too much more time because, nowadays people don't want to watch stuff that's last any longer than an hour. So I appreciate my boy Vinnie and my boy Will joining us on BelloHeart to discuss some of their personal situations. We're going to dig more into this. We're going to start doing a regular show every Friday. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and share it with your friends because the more people we spread it's all about the message, guys. So what I'm trying to do here is to help people get over their past trauma so they can enjoy life to the fullest, because it took me until I was 47, but it doesn't have to. All right, guys, anyone want to say before we go?
Next time we'll talk about more.
Have a good night, guys.
Subscribe to BelloHeart.
My man.
All right, fucking hit play.